Hey Vargas vibes, it's me Johnnie. Thanks so much for coming back to my channel. So today's video is going to be something that I have not did on my channel before, and I posted recently about, I asked y'all a question. I said, are you guys watching the Real Black Chyna on Zeus? Like this show is so good. Like it's only like $3 a month or $4 a month to watch it. You have to subscribe. But when I say this show is so freaking good, like I'm going to be reviewing this show and just talking about this show because I feel like there's conversations that need to be had about this show and like her mother and her dynamic and how things are with them. So I'm going to review this show, and if you're interested in that, make sure you stay tuned. So before I begin, I would like to ask you for that permanent hug and stay forever, aka what? Subscribe. Thank you. Anywho, let's get straight into this episode. This is the first episode. It's entitled The Real Black Chyna. Black Chyna faces Tokyo. I'm just going to say this right now. Like, I was so stressed watching this show because their toxic dynamic together, oh my God, it's just so much, you know? So it starts off with her going to get Botox in her face. Honestly, I think she should leave her face alone because she's already looking like a little Muppet. Just a little bit. But she's starting to look Muppet-like. You know how when you get a lot of plastic surgery in your face and you start to look Muppet-like? I don't know, it just looks like a little Muppet. But she went to get some more plastic surgery or Botox or fillers in her face to kind of, I guess, round out her face. She was asking for them to round out her face. She had her best friend there, and she had her assistant there. Now, I have so many issues with this because I feel like she's already messing with her face too much, but that's neither here or there. I want to get to the nitty gritty, which is the part of the episode where she starts to talk about Black Chyna or Tokyo Toni coming into town. So Tokyo Toni is supposed to be coming into town, and I guess to visit. She has this weird creepy dude around her. I don't know who he is. I can't remember or recall his name. But she says that's her bodyguard. I don't know. I just feel like he's creepy. But, okay, so Tokyo is on her way into town, and she's going to meet Angela. She calls Black Chyna Angela because that's that's Black Chyna's government name. But she is kind of nervous about meeting up with her, and she expresses that. And my vibe with Tokyo Toni, I just feel like she's like, I don't know, she's hood. Like, she's very hood. She's very street. She's very outspoken in her own right, but she's very hood with it too. Like, she just reminds me of so many family members that I have. Like, this is very triggering because she reminds me of a lot of family members that I have that are like her or have similar personalities. It's just really rough around the edges. But I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like she's very like rough around the edges. And according to Angela, aka Black Chyna, she was never there for her. She's always embarrassing her on the internet. She's just basically embarrassing, and she's always accusing Tokyo Toni's always accusing Black Chyna of, like, I don't know, like stuff on the internet, not letting her see her grandkids and stuff like that. But Tokyo be spazzing out on the internet. Like, I can understand why Angela doesn't want her to see her kids because she be wilding. So it's been about 3 years since they last saw each other. She only seen Dreamy like a couple times, or honestly, I think she never even got to see Dreamy. I think that's that little baby's name, Dream. But it's just really sad because she's keeping her away, and she's also saying that she's took her car back that she bought her, which I think Indian giving is the absolute worst. But she took her car apparently, and now she's talking to her bodyguard or her security guard about not seeing her, and she's kind of nervous, but she's hopeful in seeing how it went. So they decide to meet. Chyna invites her mother over to talk about or hash out their issues that they have with each other. And first off, Tokyo went into this very sourpuss. Like, she's very grumpy. She feels like Black Chyna has abandoned her, that she left her behind, and that she's just upset with her because she won't let her see her grandkids, and she took her car back that she bought her. So Tokyo Toni is coming in kind of hostile. Like, she's kind of rolling her eyes, smacking her lips, like looking at Black Chyna like, whatever, like that kind of look. But I feel like when you come into a situation like that and you're the mother, like, you should come in with more love and caringness when you come in. And one thing that she did was just come in like, I'm coming, but I'm only here because you asked me to be here. Like, kind of like that. Just real rude with it. I don't know. Like I said, I feel like Tokyo Toni is rough around the edges. I feel like Tokyo Toni has so much resentment for Black Chyna that all Black Chyna did was literally remove a chair, sit down next to her mom, facing her mom, and her mom is like, the producers asked her mom to turn and face Chyna a little bit more, and she's like, no, I don't want to because she's not facing me. Mind you, Black Chyna's been facing her the entire time that she walked in, since she sat down. I feel like with Tokyo Toni, she's very volatile. Like, that spirit on her is just so nasty. And I feel like she's hurt. It's coming from somewhere, some hurt in her. Like, I guess she feels like Blac Chyna hurt her and it doesn't accept her as her mom. But I don't know. I think that just that little bit and them like getting into a confrontation just off of that, like their relationship between each other, the fact that she's calling her bitches and cussing in her face and spitting on, like cussing and spitting at the same time, like that girl can only take so much of that. But I don't know. They don't know how to talk to each other. Their communication is so bad that they both have really bad attitudes towards each other. And there's always going to be that hostile environment that they're creating to where they won't be able to communicate. So after the producers cut the cameras, they calmed her down and was able to get her to stay because she was going to walk out. Like, they literally were there for like 3 minutes and she was already about to leave. Like, her temper and her patience, I don't know. With my mother, I feel like I have a decent, sorry, I'm picking this nose ring, but I feel like I have a decent relationship with my mom to where I would never basically talk to her or disrespect my mom. Like, and Chyna, I guess because they don't have a good relationship, Chyna, just the way she speaks to her, it's like she's sick of it. You know, like, okay, I guess I got to do this for this show. I'm sick of this shit already. You know what I'm saying? So Tokyo Toni has I don't know, her personality is just very volatile and very like hood. And in her confessional, she said something that bothered me. She said, I don't care if your mother sold your PUSSY for a living. You supposed to respect your mom. Like, I know they're not airing out their business, basically, like what happened between them behind closed doors or off camera, but for her to just randomly say that, I get the impression that she did that to Chyna. I think she pimped her daughter out just from that. I mean, allegedly, like I don't know what actually happened, but it had to be something that basically broke this woman's spirit or this little girl when she was living with Tokyo Toni. Like, Chyna says that Tokyo didn't even, like, she kicked her out. She was barely home. Like, she didn't even take care of her. Chyna was basically fending for herself from about the age of like 12 or 11, I think is what she was saying. But y'all, it's just really concerning to me, their relationship with each other, and the fact that their arguments are so explosive. They cuss at each other. They don't know how to communicate. They point in each other's faces, calling each other's bitches, hoes. I think that is so sad because there's a lot of relationships out there that are like this. Like, I witnessed it. I see cousins going through the same things where their mom treats them like a hoe on the street. Like, nuck if you buck, like that kind of stuff. And it's really sad to see it. Like, it's sad to witness it, it's sad to see it, but I feel like it's a conversation that needs to be had, because there are women out there, real life women out there like Tokyo, and that doesn't see her faults and covers up the fact that she left and abandoned her child. And it's going to be so much work that you have to do from that. Speaking on my own life, like, me and my mom were never as close as we are now, but when I was young, I lived with my grandmother. My grandmother took care of me. We bounced from my grandma's house, from my grandma's house to my aunt's house to my other aunt's house, and eventually one of my aunts said, you know what, I don't want to see you, I want to put you in a structured environment. And thank goodness she saved me. And I went to live with her. But because the reason why me and my siblings lived in separate households and from pillar to freaking post, basically, is because my mom was dealing with drug use and addiction, and she chose her drugs over us. And I was young, like, honestly, I don't recall ever living with my mom. Like, I remember when I was like maybe 6 or 7, living with her for a couple of years, and then again around 10 years old, we lived with her for a couple of years, but it was just lonely. So I understand where Chyna's coming from, because I remember my dynamic with my mother. Like, I resented her. I didn't respect her. I would remind her of her transgressions every chance I got. And I was hostile. Like, I didn't hate my mom, but I just was like, you abandoned us. I don't F with you like that. Like, I'm good, sis. And I can see my mom in Chyna. I can see my mom inside of Tokyo, because my mom was so hurt and she didn't want to be reminded. Thank goodness my mom is, I think, 20 years sober now. No. She's 15 years sober. And I love my mom for that. But when she was just coming back into my life, like, I just remember the arguments and the anger and the bitterness and the resentment I felt for her. And my mom wanted to love. Once she became sober, she wanted to love me. She wanted to reach out to me. She wanted to pick up where she left off by being a mother to me. But I was like Chyna. I was just like Angela. I didn't want nothing to do with this. Like, I heard this before. Like, you come into my life, you leave again. You come into my life and you leave again. So I can understand that. But Chyna and her mom, like, I've never spoke to my mom the way that she speaks to her mom. And I think it's because of lack of respect. I don't feel like she has respect for her mother. And at first, I didn't respect my mom when she first came back into my life. I used to be like, man, you're going to leave anyway, so whatever. And Tokyo Toni, though, like, the fact that she's in denial about leaving and abandoning her daughter, like, I don't blame her. So that's how the episode ended. And I did share some stuff with you guys, so don't be too harsh in the comments. But that episode of The Real Black Chyna was bomb. That's the first episode. I'm going to be reviewing this entire series and by episode, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, y'all, what y'all think about this episode? I feel like it was a bang. It was a clickbait start. You know what I'm saying? It was a very volatile start to the episode, but I don't know. I feel like it should be shown, because it starts the conversation about relationships, that sometimes toxic relationships that women, especially black women, growing up in single parent households have. And I don't know, I just feel like this was a really good episode, and it starts a conversation about the dynamic between single mothers and their daughters. And I mean, not all single mothers are like that, but that's what it does. It starts a dynamic, or it starts a conversation, and that's all that really matters. I really think that they should be getting some counseling, but I don't know. What did you think about this episode of The Real Black Chyna, episode 1? Meet face to face with Tokyo Toni. Black Chyna meeting face to face with Tokyo Toni. Anywho, that's all I wanted to share with you guys, and I will see you guys on the next video. Talk to you later. Bye.